What is going on, guys? MurderInc here. Today I want to give you another champion spotlight video for Raid Shadow Legends. The champion we're going to be talking about today is Trunda Giltmallet. A lot of people already know about her, whether they've faced her in the arena or something like that. So here I want to tell you all the things you may know, but more importantly, the things you do not know about this champion. As you can see, she is a dwarf legendary attack type champion. Going over her skills, she is a double hit A1 with a 50% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn after the second hit. We have an A2 that attacks all enemies, with the second hit dealing 60% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. So if you hit someone for 100,000, it's going to do 60,000 damage. The rest of the players on the team, which is a very strong ability. She does have some interesting interactions with the AI on how this will work on auto. There has to be very specific conditions, and it's not very reliable from what I found, so I can't talk about that too much yet until I have it completely figured out. One thing I can tell you is if you are going to kill a target with Cloak of Ages for A2, whatever number you see on the screen is not going to be the number it's going to take 60% of. It's only going to take the number of the actual damage done before the champion died. So if a target has 1,000 health left, it's only going to do 600 damage to the rest of the team. Now let's talk about the monster part of her kit, her A2. If you build her with 0 accuracy, the highlight point here is a double hit. One hit alone doesn't hit for too much, but adding 2 hits to any type of content you're doing is just unbelievable damage. So this makes her an absolute monster in pretty much every single type of content you could consider doing, which is why I have 2 Trundas luckily. So I'm going to show you one build that most people know about, most people replicate, but I'm also going to show you an alternative build that you probably haven't seen before. So finishing up on the A3, like I said before, has a 70% chance of placing a stun. If it does not stun, it will double hit. If it does place a stun, it will place a HP burn debuff on the target for 2 turns. Quickly going over the passive here, the champion's resistance increases by 10 for each stun debuff this champion places on enemies, stacking up to 100. The speed increases for each HP burn debuff, stacking up to 15. The aura is a bit interesting, increases magic affinity, ally attack in all battles by 36%. Very quickly going over my first Trunda, here's her weapon. We got a nice triple roll, we got a triple speed roll, 3 crit damage gloves we have on her, attack chest, speed boots, pretty common. So this Trunda right here is built strictly for my arena team and as the nuke champion in the arena team. So we have an attack ring with attack rolls, crit damage here, and HP on the banner for that little bump in survivability. Total stats, as we can see, 51,000 health, 4,700 attack, 1,800 defense, 246 speed, 100% crit rate, 263 crit damage, 200 resistance, and 111 accuracy. Now, as low as this accuracy may seem, you would be mind blown how many times this stun actually procs in the arena. It's quite frustrating, and I've done my best. I only have 21 accuracy in total from all of my artifacts, which is kind of a nuisance, and the Great Hall is actually what's killing me with the plus 80, but 111, surprisingly enough, is still enough to land all of the time in the arena. Now, as we saw from going over the skills, she is fully booked. And for masteries, this is the mastery tree I gave her. I do have the crit damage on the tier 6 going with the one-shot build offense tree, adding into the defense tree for a little bit more tankiness and the opportunity to counterattack. Now let's go over build number 2. Really excited to talk about this. Relentless gear. Everyone's been talking about this nerf. Cannot use the gear, not viable anymore. Let me show you where you can use Trunda. So we all know Trunda as the tank slayer, hard hitter. What if I told you she is the tank? I'm sure you could believe me looking at her base HP at 22,800. That is very high base HP for an attack type champion. So I said, let me use this to my advantage. Where does HP burn shine? I'm asking you right now. Tell me, think about it. I'll give you 2 seconds. If you didn't think of Spider right away, I don't know what you're doing. Spider all of the way. I was doing an account takeover. I saw they had Trunda. They didn't have a ton of options, and I said, let's go. Let's build this. Let's build this accuracy, tanky. Let me find a relentless set. Let me find a reflex set, and let's see how we do. and I was shocked at how well it worked. So if you do have Trunda and you're progressing trying to get that Arbiter, and you've been using Trunda simply in the arena, hopefully this will show you how you can use her in the Dragon Dungeon, you can use her in the Spider, and you can even use her in the Ice Golem for a 100% win rate, full auto, on your way to getting the Arbiter. So for my second Trunda, I do not have any books. For the Masteries, I did choose a defense and support hybrid here. My main goal for picking these Masteries were increase the stun chance by 5%, give her as much accuracy bonus as possible, make her as tanky as possible, give her all the turn meter boosts she gets from debuffs expiring or allies being critically hit. So what kind of MurderInc video would this be if I did not show you my Arena Trunda in action, how much damage she can in fact do? Let's just burn this A1 here since she is so quick on my Arena team. Let's boost that speed to go again. I would not disappoint you guys and not show you my Arena Trunda's damage potential in dungeons. That's what I do. So here we go. Let's take a look at the A3 and pray that her low accuracy does not proc here. Alright, so it ended up proccing on 1, 2, 3, 4 champions with 111 accuracy. Tell me something has to be wrong there. So we did see a decent amount of damage. I'm going to throw this on auto now. We had 80,000 per hit. Obviously 80,000 times 2. We did see that awesome surplus there of 100,000 damage, which was awesome to see. That was one condition where she does use her A2. As we can see, 24 to 26,000 on the A1. And to repeat again so no one is confused, this is the damage dealing Trunda and not the full tanky Trunda. Obviously, it is quite unfortunate to see. Alright, so once again there we had 100,000 hits on all of them, and we still managed to stun them all. Even with my low accuracy, I'm sure all of you can think of all of your poisoners with 200 plus accuracy getting resisted on the Dragon 20, and yet Trunda here is absolutely killing it. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen a single double hit. Alright, there was our first double hit, obviously, because we cannot stun the dragon. So that is 1 point there, but outside of that, Trunda continues to baffle me as to why she is insistent on landing her debuffs all of the time with such low accuracy. If only we could get that to work with our attack down champions in Ultra Nightmare. I know a lot of people watching would love if that were the case. Alright, so now that we got to see Trunda in action, as we can see from the recap here, 2.4 million damage from Trunda, very slow time compared to my normal 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Arbiter, Dracomorph, and Apothecary coming far behind as far as the total damage taken goes. Now let's move along to the tanky Trunda in a use that I really wanted to highlight here. So I did make her a bit too quick as we saw from the start, so I'm not going to lead with the A3 here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use Monster, use his stun ability for pretty much an increased chance of applying HP burn to every single champion. We're going to throw defense down here. That doesn't really matter. Now we're going to go for the stun here. And the stun that he already has landed will also interact with Forge Rhythm. Let's toss this A3 out and then throw this on auto. Now the key to using Trunda in this type of situation, and I did not use a Cold Heart, I could have, I chose to use Lysandra instead. You want to build her with tons of turn meter manipulation champions, as well as some type of tanky champion, whether it's an unkillable champion, someone who provides a shield like Frankenstein or Sir Nicholas, someone along those lines. And as I just mentioned before, turn meter manipulation is gigantic for any HP burn spider composition. So as we can see, she's just cycling through this. It is lucky if you do get relentless procs, but it is not the end of the world if you don't. As we see there, he did feed on the spiderlings, he did heal a bit, but it really doesn't matter too much because the team is just so tanky, especially with Trunda. She pretty much has no chance of dying in a team comp like this. I'm sure you can find many other champions you can use to replicate this, to find success, especially when trying to auto this and progress. So I'm pretty sure most people do in fact know what all these champions do, but just to go over it in case you don't, I do have Lysandra as the leader who provides a speed aura. He also decreases turn meter on 2 abilities while increasing speed. Everyone knows what Apothecary does, turn meter boost and a heal that can crit. We have Tayrail with an A3 that decreases the turn meter, also providing a attack down as well as a AoE defense down. Then we have a monster Frankenstein over here who provides an AoE stun as well as an HP shield on all of the champions that stacks up very high, as we can see here. So we're about 2 minutes and 30 seconds in here. Unfortunately, Monster just took out all of our HP burn champions. If you are going to try and replicate this, I highly recommend putting War Master or Giant Slayer on the rest of your champions. I do not have that on right now, which is why this run is taking quite a bit of time. But if you do choose to use Trunda in your team as your kind of key to success in defeating the spider and progressing to get your Arbiter, I highly recommend using Giant Slayer, War Master, and everyone to make this run quicker. As mentioned before, even with someone dead like we see here, from what I've tested so far, this is a 100% win rate no matter what. Any condition, anything that could possibly go wrong, someone getting crit, a resistance and turn meter not happening, this team will never fail. So as we can see here, final damage to Lissandra, 135,000 damage. Obviously she doesn't have very good gear on and she died early. Monster with 1.8 million, Apothecary 473,000. Trunda Giltmallet, 8.5 million damage from that HP burn and her AoE, as well as Tayrel coming in with 2.2 million damage. Now another thing to touch on in this video, what kind of video would this be if I did not showcase what Trunda can do in the arena? She is an arena goddess right now. She is an awesome counter to Rotos if you can get that double hit to apply, not get the stun to go off, unfortunately, like what happens to me all the time. So let's take this in for a run through the arena and see what this combo of double Trunda can do. I do still have the tankiness on one, as well as the damage dealing one, so I'm excited to see how this goes. Now when facing enemies with an immunity set is a home run when you're using Trunda, since it gets rid of the possibility of being able to land that stun. As we can see here, my tanky Trunda didn't even get a chance to go, just completely got one shot by the first Trunda. So true to her name, this champion is an absolute monster as far as dealing damage goes in the arena. She's a monster when clearing waves, but hopefully now you also see the other side to her, where you can build her extremely tanky in some other type of gear set like Reflex or Relentless Gear, cycle through her cooldowns quicker, and you can use her as a tank for Ice Golem, Dragon, as well as in probably primary use for spider progression. Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you won't miss the next time I drop a video. I look forward to seeing all of you on the next release. Until then, peace out.